Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Hoffman of EnlighteninGLife.com. Yes, this is the second video of the day. And I posted an earlier video about the integration of spiritual material and why that was so important, and it has to do with the post. I posted earlier today about the famous memo, and somebody wrote, actually several somebody's wrote, said, you just talk on spiritual topics. We don't want to hear about politics and crime and corruption and things like that. So there's a reason for us learning about these things and then applying our energy to shifting them, and that's what we're here for. It's the heaven on earth. That's our mission. It's the integration of higher frequencies of 5D into 3D realities. So if you can see this, all right. So here we have the spiritual path, then we have the material path, and they're separate. Now, for a long time, we had the veil, the separation between the two. So what we did when we had the veil is we thought, I'm just going to continue to expand spiritually. I'm going to go up in my spiritual reality. I'm going to become a more spiritual person. And then we sit up here, I call this our spiritual ivory tower. We sit up here and we go, oh, look at the material world. It's really looking bad. It's terrible. Good thing I'm not in there. So we get to a certain point in our spiritual journey and then we stop. And the higher up we get here without the integration, the worse this looks. And you notice that in your own life when you start expanding spiritually, and all of a sudden you look at your life and you go, wow, I don't like it. I don't have any abundance. I'm not happy. I don't have love in my life. And that's because you need the integration. So the material reality of the life you have and the place you live and your money and your career and all of that is part of the material world. This is the physical presence you have. This is your body. The energy you need to expand this is over here. So if you have them separated, you never apply them over there. So what happens is you have this spiritual part of you that exists in kind of the airy-fairy, because it is airy-fairy, it's all potential, but it never gets into the reality because these two are completely separated. So here is this next part of our ascension journey, and this is all about ascension. So in the integrated part, you have the material reality, and I'm drawing this in the middle of the page for a reason. So you have material reality, and then in here you have the spiritual reality. Now, these are integrated. You've heard me talk about running out of energy road, and this is what that means. When you decide to expand spiritually, you realize you get up to the top and something's wrong. It's like wearing clothes that are too small or wearing shoes that are too small for you. All of a sudden you can't move. You don't like the reality, but then what happens? So you bring in more energy to expand your spiritual awareness, and when you're integrated, guess what happens? This whole material reality starts to expand as well. So now you have this bigger material reality. And that works for a while and you're happy and everything's going great. And then all of a sudden you do another spiritual expansion. Now, this used to take decades. Now it's taking months. And you can go from a month to 5 months to 6 months and decide, hey, I don't like my life anymore. I'm feeling more potential because we're getting all these energy downloads. So all this energy that comes in is forcing you to expand spiritually. Well, when you expand spiritually, your material reality gets too tight. So you expand again. And what happens? You expand your material reality as well. So now you've got a bigger reality. You've got more things going on in your life. You've got the peace, love, joy, the abundance, and everything you want. And we continue to get energy in. So we get more energy, and then you run out of energy road. Now your whole reality, you're looking at it and going, nah, I don't like this anymore. This doesn't fit me anymore. I'm bigger than that. I feel more potential. I want to expand some more. So you expand the amount of energy you bring in. And again, this is from your integrated self. You expand that. I'm running out of paper here. You expand that reality even more. So we go from this small, this is 3D, and this is 5D. So every time you expand, you reach a stopping point, you pull in more energy, you expand spiritually, this goes up, and then that expands your whole reality. So if you're feeling stuck, it's because you're right here. You're at this stopping point where the energy that you have put and all of the barriers and the limitations and everything of your physical world are now holding back that potential. You need to allow that to expand. So as soon as you bring in more energy and you start looking around and going, I don't really like this anymore, then the focus, again, the focus and purpose of your mission here is to bring heaven on earth. So you bring in this energy, and the energy says, I need a place to expand into. Give me a place to grow. So this is the place where it grows. You expand that reality, and then you get the next dose of energy, and it comes in, and it says, I need a place to expand. This is too small for me. If you look at, for example, like a little baby, especially infants in that first year of life, and you look at a baby as a tiny infant, a newborn, and then you look at them at 1 year old and you see how much they've grown and what they know, and they can, some of them can talk, and that some of them can even walk when they're 1 year old, which they were completely incapable of when they were born. So we are expanding. Now here's the challenge, is the cost of bringing this energy in is being willing to expand the material reality. Again, this is bringing heaven on earth. So if you look at this as heaven, this is earth. So the price that you pay and the promise, I'll say it a different way, the promise you make as a receiver of this energy is you are going to ground it in a physical reality. You are going to integrate the divinity, the energy, into the humanity. And this is the only way to do that, which is why when you're over here and you're sitting at the top of that little spiritual place and you're going, wow, look how dark that is. I don't want to be down there. But what happens from up here? How many spiritual teachers, how many spiritual people do you know who are flat broke, living who knows where? And I know a lot of these because they call me and they say, I need to learn how to manage my business. I need to learn how to make money. I need to learn how to do some of these things because I don't even have money to put gas in my car, if I even have a car. So the separation, which, for some, and those of you who don't really feel comfortable here, this can be a very comfortable place to be. But what you soon find out is you have a physical body. Your job is to put this in here and to make room in this material world to handle the spiritual energy that you have. And that is the challenge that we're all facing now. So the more corruption we see in here, the bigger the sign that is for us to take this spiritual energy, stick it in our material reality, and then and then grow it, and then start expanding that material reality to accommodate our spiritual energy. So those of you who are very high energy, very spiritual, very, very accomplished on the spiritual planes, if you're trying to fit all that spiritual energy in that little material space, no wonder that you're having so many problems, because you need to make this material reality as big as your spiritual energy. And that's what I was thinking about after I made the memo, or the video, and talking to you about the memo and what's going on, is I realized that what we're facing is this. So the more spiritual energy we bring in, we receive, and again, this is our promise, we will create a corresponding material reality, and this is 5D. This is why I say it's an integration. The more energy we receive, it's great to receive really high frequency energy, but we promise to create a material space for it. This is heaven. Here is heaven on earth. Where on earth are we going to put the energy? And it's incumbent on each of us, because we promise to do this. These are not just soul contracts, these are source contracts. So if you are able to receive this energy, you have made a promise to source that you're going to create material space to bring in all of the energy of heaven. And that's why the spiritual material integration is so important. I hope you understand this. I really enjoy being able to do art in one of my videos, It's Jennifer Hoffman of EnlighteningLife.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.